How goes it, guys? Today, I want to go over wet sanding a little bit for you here. Um, a lot of people stay away from wet sanding. I, on the other hand, believe wet sanding is the quickest and safest method for correction. Okay, so this is going to be the canvas today. We have swirls, scratches, nicks, some marring from maybe a cover or something rubbing against there, and then one scratch that's real close to being through the clear. We're going to start off with the workhorse, that's 1000 grit, and always have a sanding block. If you have circular discs like I do, and this is my block, then it's a foam block. Contours the hand, great for hand sanding. If somebody else is using it, then I'll grab a magic eraser, wrap the sandpaper around that, and that's my block. Okay, so we want to do one brisk pass and see how the disc is cutting this particular clear. Here's where the deep scratch is, so we can concentrate here a little bit. Okay, so let's clean the slate and take a look where we're at here. One important thing that I look at this step is the texture of the finish. Does it have heavy orange peel effect to it? If it does, and you're trying to correct a scratch that is real deep through the clear or down into the base, then you don't want to remove all of the orange peel. All that does is smooth things out and actually draws attention to the scratch. So one portion of the panel has orange peel, and then it merges into another section that doesn't have any and is glass flat, and your scratch is right in the middle there, if that makes sense. With this particular finish, there wasn't much orange peel to begin with, so we can go ahead and correct as much as we want, and it'll blend in nicely. Let me bring you in closer to show you. There's not much orange peel effect to the finish, and we just about have all the defects taken out except for that one deep scratch. Yeah, right there it is. Hope you can see that. Now, myself, I always switch from the 1000 to the 3000 when there's no orange peel present on the surface. That means peaks and valleys are leveled, and now you are actually cutting into the clear coat. This is where the magic happens. This step is where correction is being made, and at this point, it's your call as to how far you want to go for a correction. And a lot of things play into it. How thick is the paint? Has it been repaired? Resprayed. So for me at this point, the only thing that needs to be worked on a little bit here is that deep scratch through the clear. So with this 3000 grit here, I have moderate pressure, trying to work out all the jagged edges of the scratch. Time to clear off the residue. I'm not where I want to be, so I'm going to hit it one more time, and there has been some circumstances where I've gone back to the 1000 grit again. That's where experience comes in, and just as the rotary, it's suggested go out, grab a panel from a junkyard, and practice. Practice makes perfect. Now, you'll notice I was sanding from left to right with the last step. So this step, it's going to be up and down. Why? Because you're going to keep going until you see no traces of the 3000 grit that was going left to right. Once they're gone, you're good to go. I need to add, you could have easily jumped from the 3000 grit to a DA or rotary, finished from there. But personally, I like to grab the 5000 grit, and it does a quick job getting me to where I just need the finishing pad. I want to bring you in close to show you it's already clearing up. The 5000 grit is already lifting a lot of the heavy haze from the 1000 and 3000. And that's before we even break out the polish. And here you can see a tiny trace of that scratch. Although hideous at the beginning, now barely noticeable. This is where I reach for a personal favorite, ultra fine cutting polish, Redemption by Angel Wax. Spread out the product thin and even, and grab my rotary with the wool finishing pad. For incredible results, I usually do this step twice, and we're done. Gonna lock in the speed at 1700, pressure light with just the thumb. Now we're on the finishing stage here. If you saw my rotary wool video and we were working on a hood, or if you're working on the roof or the trunk, my hand would have been cradled under the unit to lift a little weight because we're finishing here. But we're working on a vertical panel here, so this is how I support the tool, guide it back and forth, and it doesn't drop on my toes. At this point, looks good, but I'm not satisfied yet, so we're going to put on another layer of product. We're just going to dab it in here. I don't want to do any rubbing at all if I don't have to. We're going to apply product and give it one last pass. Going to get the speed locked in and then get the hand in position for steady light pressure. I want to bring you in close for a good look at a gorgeous swirl-free surface, achieved largely by wet sanding. Here's that deep scratch we were working on, barely noticeable. If it appears dark in some of the shots on my videos, it's because I like to turn out the lights except for on the spot that I'm working on. I'll have one light there, I can see best that way. There's a lot of fear with wet sanding, as there is with using the rotary. I want to kind of shed a little bit of light on those two categories, and I'll hit upon them every chance I get.